Speaking of this podcast, welcome to Shame Watch.
It's Aaron, you're absolutely right.
Massive million failures that we
because
hate
it's
to
easier
love.
to just
Each
shit
week
on it.
we look at a movie that either we or our guests love, but society shames them for. We peek in each nook and cranny for every bright spot, keeping the public at bay while watching these movies like the miracles.
I don't like to shit on things, but sometimes you just have
we are
to.
grabbing our fantasy dog out of its nest and we're riding into town and we're killing folks. So,
oh, you can just you're recording separate audio tracks.
That was our sloppiest intro.
Yeah, we'll just fix it.
Yeah,
you could just
yeah.
Let's
keep it over.
This is an episode with the boys, not the Amazon Prime show The Boys, created by Eric Kimke, who also created Supernatural, who's from Toledo, Ohio. And what's this? Toledo, Ohio is right next to, you guessed it, Bowling Green,
Dayton,
Ohio.
Oh.
It's about 3 hours away from Dayton, but good old 2 Hill, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Have you noticed that everything is 3 hours away from Dayton?
Yeah, Austin's
San
3 hours away
Antonio,
from Dayton.
Portland, just so much.
Alaska, Juneau, Alaska.
Just
that bridge
Beijing,
to Hawaii.
China.
I've been watching way too much BoJack Horseman recently. And by that, I mean I've been binging BoJack Horseman. I'm on season 5.
You should watch Ted Lasso instead.
Yeah, I'll get there. Once I get Apple TV.
I mean,
Aaron, give me your login.
yeah, okay, no problem.
Oh, add it to the sheet. Thanks.
But
it's about soccer, James.
Is it about soccer? I thought it was about politics.
Is. No, it's a football coach from Wichita State goes to coach a football club in London.
Oh, I'm 100% in now.
And it's
why
cute.
Why didn't you pitch that before?
That's a great question. As per usual, you are correct, James.
That would have been the perfect pitch.
We definitely should have said it's about soccer.
We dropped the ball
actually about
on that.
soccer. Is that the real pitch?
There's a soccer game in there.
Okay.
But it's about a soccer organization.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
it is. Like there's that's the groundworks of it. Of course, it's like the day-to-day life about the coach and stuff, but that's the groundworks of it. That's the whole launching point of it. Yeah, it's a fun time, man.
Will you probably hate all of the soccer references? They're probably getting it wrong, sure.
Probably.
But it's delightful.
But it's fooling me and Kenny. We're not bothered by it at all.
I don't know, because that's created by Bill Lawrence, who created Scrubs, and I shouldn't say every, but most of like people in medicine and like nurses and doctors say Scrubs is more like their work than Grey's Anatomy. House.
I get that. Okay, I see that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
Okay.
Zoom. Season 5 of Scrubs.
No.
No, it's na. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's season 8. My na.
I like the Chocolate King. Whenever JD thinks about his dream job.
Oh yeah, season 2. I think it's just my dream job.
He's the Chocolate King, and then he bends.
Yeah, and
he bends over and he grabs Turk's hand, and he's like, "Dude,
how am I gonna finish my memos?"
And then JD's like,
"Oh, I could do a whole Scrubs podcast. I love Scrubs.
I've never seen a single episode of Scrubs.
Do you want to binge watch?
It's pretty darn delightful.
It is really great.
I'll believe you.
Love it.
Anyways,
I mean, if you like Bill Lawrence and Ted Lasso, you like Scrubs.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway.
I shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not all on Hulu, so you don't. Although I will say, because of copyright things, they've changed some things on the streaming versions of Scrubs. I've got the original DVDs, which are the original cuts. Also, although there's also some weird stuff going. Okay, I'm talking about too much about Scrubs.
No, we'll just cut this out. It's fine.
No, we're gonna leave it in. We're talking about Riddick today. We're finishing No-Vin-ber with some Riddick, the final trilogy in the Riddick, because you can't call it the Chronicles of Riddick because that's the second one.
In the space opera of Richard B. Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Aaron. Oh, also, that's Aaron.
Hey, guys, my name's Aaron. And below me is our chief executive archivist.
Hey, guys, I'm Kenny.
And Olivia can't make it.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this is coming out.
Oh, yeah, this is our Thanksgiving episode.
And what's
Riddick.
better to give thanks to Riddick and Vin Diesel?
Hey, Aaron,
Yeah.
can you grab this wishbone with me? Just grab this wishbone with me.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, come on.
Snap.
Ugh.
Oh, Aaron, you got the bigger piece.
I
What's
did.
your wish?
Okay. Wish I may with all my might. Okay.
Now you have to tell us in a year.
To
see if it came true. Kenny, write that down in the spreadsheet. In exactly 1 year, Aaron has to tell us what he wished for on the Riddick episode of the podcast.
It was for James to die of typhoid.
We'll see you in a year. And then we smash cut to
Typhoid is so specific. Oh, man.
Anyway, we watched Riddick. Y'all, I liked it. It was better than Pitch Black.
It's better than Pitch Black. Man, it's just they didn't give them a budget, so it looked cheap. But we got Dave Bautista, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of a big fan of Bautista. Like, I kind of like him more than Rock. That might just be me.
He's just not. He doesn't have the same charm as Rock. Cause like,
I don't. Oh, sorry. You keep going, James. I talk all the time. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think they're both charismatic in their own way, but Rock is very much like outwardly like life of the party charismatic, where Dave Bautista is more like inviting in and more reserved, but still charming. So it's just a different type. So it creates different dynamics.
Dave Bautista does not strike me as a diva the same way that The Rock does.
No.
And also Dave Bautista bothers to try and do different things. Like he was in Skyfall, which was directed by Spectre, which was directed by Sam Mendes. The execution of that movie is very much for debate. He's in Dune. He's in Blade Runner 2049.
He also does kids movies too.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians, Hotel Artemis. He strikes me as a person that would like to challenge himself with things, as opposed to The Rock, which is very much, is this the brand?
Yeah.
Does this fit into the brand? How can I expand the brand?
Yeah.
And Dave Bautista's not that guy.
Yeah, with The Rock, it kind of seems, and I think this goes back to his days in WWE. Like, I am The Rock, I'm the bull, raised eyebrow. I got to fit this brand, and now it's like expanded a little bit more. And Dave Bautista, when he was a wrestler, he was just the big dude. That's all. That was his shtick. He didn't have like a thing like where he was charismatic on the mic. He didn't have to be, but at the same time, I think that's what makes him a little bit more genuine than The Rock, which is why I like him. Like with The Rock, it seems like he'd give you a hug, but at the same time, you're like, there's a camera around, isn't there? Like you did this just for the camera. And with Dave Bautista, he's a genuine ally. He's spoken advocately, like when somebody says homophobic terms, he straight up like, yeah, please say it to my face and we'll see if we have that, if you'll have that continued argument. And not to say that I'm, condoning violence or anything, but he's very much so, an advocate and he's just a nice guy. It's going to sound really strange, but I know people with autism or people on the spectrum felt like they kind of had a character with Drax, and Dave Bautista didn't even realize he was doing that. And he was like, if you feel empowered by that, by all means, I'm glad that you feel like you have a superhero with that. So I think he doesn't get a lot of credit. I really do like Dave Bautista.
Yeah. Yeah, Rock is definitely a ham, and Dave Bautista is just genuine, for sure.
You could see The Rock kind of stealing his character in The Fast and the Furious to be more in brand for The Rock, as opposed to where he started off at in Fast 5, where he basically just kicks off the plane. He's like, fuck you, give me guns. And then in the Fate of the Furious, he's coaching a girls' soccer team, which is funny and cute and stuff. And also, it strikes me more as The Rock going, I want my character to coach a little girl's soccer team, because that would make me more appeal to families, because the brand, it's all about the brand.
Yeah, it's like Save the Cat.
I'm never against people coaching little girls soccer teams. I'm for that.
You've always
little girls soccer team.
Hold on. It depends on who's coaching.
Everyone.
No.
We should all take a little girls soccer team under our wing and coach them. If Ted Lasso can do it, then so can we.
I haven't seen, so I can't rate his coaching ability.
Me and Aaron, after this pandemic's over, we're gonna adopt a soccer team.
Oh, yep. I would watch that.
And they're gonna take your team, James, down.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck your team up,
I would
James.
love to be the villain in this story.
You're definitely the Lane Smith.
I was gonna say that
story.
Yeah, I am fully on board on this movie pitch, because I'm pretentious and I know soccer.
If you shave your face and then you keep your hair at its length and then just slick it back, then wear a black turtleneck with black pants.
I'll do it. Let's film this.
To an outdoor spring soccer game.
Yeah, right.
It'll be perfect. You'll be the perfect villain.
You have to suffer to play soccer.
Just have all these little girls just chanting, kill,
kill, destroy, annihilate. Okay, go get them. And then in the first act, to show just how good my team is, we'll score 10 points, and the ref will go to call the game because of the 10 goal difference rule that only exists in like U9. And I'll go, no, we're playing until the time is up. And then the final score will be 35-0.
Meanwhile, mine and Kenny's team are shaking the opposing players' hands when they score on them.
Yeah. I've been on that team before.
Me and Aaron give up just immediately. We're just like, ooh, he looks like he prepared. Woo.
He looks like he runs for fun.
I thought we were just having fun.
Jeez.
He seems like he wants to win. Well, he probably deserves it. He looks like he put in a lot of work.
Guys, we all get a pizza party at the end of the season. No need to go this hard. We're relaxed.
Winners get lemon slices.
Lemon slices. Not orange slices. You're giving the kids on your team lemon slices.
Because the bitterness will teach you about life. I've been wanting to play this character for years. This is my role. This is my breakout role.
And I'll give fruit snacks.
Citrus anymore, Mr. Fight.
You're gonna drink it because champions drink citrus.
Eat it or squirt it in your eyes. Either way,
it's Riddick.
The film we're talking about is indeed Riddick.
And I will say, and I'm all for body positivity, and I'm all looking out for folks. Vin was a little thicker in this one.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
He's looking good. He put on a little bit of a plumpness. I liked it. It still worked, but I didn't realize this was in 2013.
Yeah, I saw that, and I also read the fact that I saw in the fact that the only reason he appeared in Tokyo Drift was so he could get the rights to this movie. Remember the franchise?
To the franchise.
So he could make this movie.
Which is weird because it's still distributed by Universal, which is the studio that put out Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
They can distribute it, and he still owns it, though, right?
I guess so. I don't exactly know what the rights are at this point, or how all of that works. It's definitely made on a budget. And I know, at least according to the IMDb trivia, that they ran out of money at one point, so Vin just funded it from his own pockets.
Until that bank loan came through, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm all about filmmakers just going hard on that and going, no, I believe in this project so much. I'm putting my personal wealth on the line. One of the reasons why I like M. Night Shyamalan at this point in time, you can definitely have issues with glass and stuff, but also like his last 3 movies have been completely self-financed.
Nice.
So he's doing his own stuff the way that he wants to, and taking like the risk is on him solely.
That's the whole reason for me wanting to get a UX job. And future employers don't listen to this. It's the whole reason why I want to get a UX job, so I can fund my own short films and eventually films.
Yeah, I know some companies are just, once they got, like, especially with like the Weinstein Company, like once some filmmakers were realizing the atrocities of Harvey, they just bought the rights to their film and just distributed it themselves, like after the aftermath. I think the maker of Wind River did it. He was like, oh, fuck Harvey, and he just started distributing it on his own.
Yeah. But the movie we're talking about is
Riddick. Yeah.
And had any of us seen this before?
No.
Yes.
You had?
I had seen this before. When it like came out early. I think, to be honest, this was one of my brain surgery recovery movies. Like,
really?
I was stood up in a bed, so I just watched this, and I don't remember which part was just medication and which part was the actual movie, but it all felt the same rewatching it.
Yeah, I was about to say, Aaron, I'm here to tell you none of it was the medication. It was all movie.
It's a pretty wild movie.
It's a pretty fun movie.
It's very strange, the beginning, and especially when I learned that the original pitch idea was to have Riddick go into the Underverse to try and look for Kira and bring her back. I think that might have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
we'll get to it.
But
first, we need to talk about if you feel any shame bringing this movie before us.
Oh, yeah, we need to do the context.
We're adding the context 24 minutes in.
This is a messy episode, y'all. We're just thankful of each other.
A little bit of shame. Yeah, there's some shame to it. The graphics are bad.
There's a huge piece of shame in here that I think is outrageously valid.
Yeah,
to feel shame about.
The graphics are bad. Is there
bad stuff coming?
We'll get to it.
If you tell me, like, after we praise Dave Bautista for like 10 minutes straight, and it turns out he's just being convicted for murder.
Problematic.
Yeah, I'm
gonna. No, Dave Bautista was busted for just breaking puppies' necks. He was running a puppy mill, and the only reason that he was running the puppy mill was just to break the puppies' necks.
Oh God!
Don't put that on his name even a bit. Dave Bautista's too good for this world.
Speaking of too good for this world, some people think that this movie is anything but. And I will read that opinion in a segment that we like to call The Context.
Hit it, Olivia.
Context.
Nice. Even when she's not here, she's here.
Hell yeah. That's right. Always in our hearts.
One of the things that we like to do for people that are starting specifically with this episode, the Riddick episode, is that we like to add a little bit of context about why someone might feel some shame about the movies that they bring to us. So in a review titled Riddick Review, Men Will Be Boys by Marianne Johansson of flickphilosopher.com, published Friday, September 6, 2013 at 1:31 a.m. Marianne, you can't be burning the candle at both ends, girl. It's too late. You got to take a nap.
Yeah.
Go sleep. And the review starts. Gotta hand it to David Twohy. With this, his third outing with the spacefaring sociopath Riddick, Twohy has decided to simply dispense with all pretense that the modern action blockbuster is anything other than the confused, terrified power fantasy of a particularly sheltered and emotionally stunted teenaged boy. I would say this is refreshing, but it's mostly just said. I mean, it's nice to sweep away all the bullshit, but what's left is just plain risible. How do we know this is all about what a real man is? Because here in Riddick, Vin Diesel gets the opportunity to measure himself against two different bands of mercenaries who come to bounty hunt him to death. There is Santana, leader of the first group to arrive, clearly a weak, spineless coward. He kills their female prisoner because he's gotten tired of raping her. Later, he tries to rape Dahl, second in command of the other and more professional group, and the only female character after the unnamed raped woman is murdered. But she beats him up because that's what she does. She's a gal who doesn't fuck men, but she does fuck them up sometimes. We may compare this behavior to Riddick, who doesn't need to rape. Back with the necromongers, we cannot miss his mute naked concubines, 4 of them in his bed at a time. And he is so irresistible that even Dahl, who is either actually a lesbian or pretends to be so she'll be left alone, eventually gives in to Riddick, who needs nothing but crude come-ons and sexualized taunting to make Dahl swoon. Got all that? Wimpy guys rape women, yet can conversely get beaten up by women. A real man just tells women, even women who don't fuck men but do fuck men up, that they're going to want nasty sex with him, and they do. It's like magic. There's also some stuff about horse tranquilizers that I won't spoil, but trust me, it is vital for illustrating what a real man is. Does Tui understand what he's done here? Is he consciously pandering to the weak and the powerless who don't really understand what strength and power are and consciously reinforcing those wrong-headed notions? Or does Tui simply, unironically believe that this is all so super cool awesome that no one couldn't not want to be Riddick?
Oof. Well,
she's not wrong.
She's not wrong at all.
She's
no.
not wrong. Some would say that she is correct.
Yeah.
Very correct.
It took such a strange turn from Chronicles.
Riddick he's a sexual assaulter in this one.
Yeah.
Which is weird that this movie, made 13 years after the original, would have even more regressive gender politics than the first movie, which came out 13 years ago.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think that like Vin Diesel was just like on a modern warfare Discord server with 13-year-old boys.
Oh my
and heard
God.
how they talked about women, and he was just like, guess this is what the kids want, and then just made this. It's
stupid Modern Warfare. It's a dumb game. Probably Modern Warfare 2 at the time.
Yeah,
I very
so
much
strange.
liked this. I very much liked this movie, and also the gender politics of this movie are so actively repugnant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is supremely awful to the point where it ruins the movie.
Yeah.
Like, Riddick is a straight up, he doesn't technically rape anyone, but he pretty much sexually assaults someone in this movie, or like at least is leering uncomfortably with the one female character, who is Katie Sackhoff, who played Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica, and that character is truly one of the great TV characters, which I hate that Battlestar Galactica was kind of ruined by The Office, because you have Starbuck as a character and she is so rich and complex and damaged and not just the tough girl with a gun. Like, there's some very interesting psychology behind it. And to see Katie Sackhoff kind of get relegated to being second banana is because she's such a great actress. For the listener, Aaron has just logged off, and then James just kind of looks shell-shocked.
I just, it's a lot, man.
Look, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving. Enjoy that turkey, and not sexually assaulting people. Like, just being nice to each other.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's things that we like about this movie too.
Yeah. Like the whole like first act.
I am the first act of this movie is like this movie structurally is just bonkers bananas.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
I got.
the first yeah.
Go ahead, Kenny.
No, Aaron.
No,
You
Kenny,
go.
please, you.
No, Aaron, you got the bigger piece of the wishbone.
That's true.
Yeah, but I already made my wish.
Also true.
Well, don't spoil it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we have to
Just like
talk
you
about
don't
it in a year.
And maybe
Don't-
if you
just like you're trying
go,
to s-
maybe you'll make my wish come true.
well, maybe if you go, then we won't even have to worry about this.
So,
all right, Aaron?
that scene where he's prepping to fight those scorpion fish gave me an idea for a D&D like opening thing, and I'm really excited. That's it.
Aaron, you had something to say?
I was just gonna say it kind of felt like Kong Skull Island meets like space in that first act. But I will say I was kind of just like, this kind of put a bad taste in my mouth when we had the concubine scene with like all
Yeah.
four of them.
Weird.
I was like, oh, okay, this is
It just felt so male gazy.
and it was so
I mean,
forced. Like it was.
this is the dark side of Vin being able to be a diva, which is he gets to prove his virility by having naked women in the bed. And also it's kind of a trope of the fantasy genre. That's certainly not to justify it. It's just to contextualize why it might happen. Because Riddick is not a character. Riddick is, at this point, an archetype. And you make sure that the archetype is doing the coolest, most badass things at all times. And what's more badass than having four women be naked in his bed, and then one of those women is actually trying to double cross him, but she stabs him in the wrong place.
Yeah, because women can't
So
be
he's-
trusted, right, fellas?
To me, it came off as to like they said I'm not desirable. I'll show them. Like it kind of
Yeah.
made it came off like I'm going to show them that I'm still relevant in 2013, and I'm going to show them that women still want me. Is how it came off, and it was kind of gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gross
100%.
for sure.
But you know what was cool? Where he gets double crossed by Count?
Lord Vaca? Vaca?
No.
Oh,
When they
the
shoot,
guy with on his
shoot
face.
The ledge. Yeah. I think his name is Count. And because the guns looked really cool. Those were cool guns and cool effects.
Yes.
And like that fight was just fun. So that was cool.
The first 30 minutes of this movie straight up rule.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
It is. What happens is that basically they just hit the reset button and pretend like Chronicles of Riddick kind of happened, but not really. And they strand Riddick on a planet that's very similar to the first movie, but this one has nighttime
Yeah, this felt like kind of like a soft reboot for Pitch Black.
for sure. And then basically Riddick is left alone for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I would be very excited to see a version of that without any narration, where it's just watching Vin go around fighting off CG and sometimes practical animals, because that was cool and fantastical and epic, and the CG to me looked super good.
And he just goes
Which was
off
kind of shocking.
into like a Wild West frontier mode. Like he's just
Yes.
exploring. And that part was cool. The only part was like, oh, this is just telling me about the movie, is that cheap space scene with the spaceships leaving. And I was like, that is a completely different Necromonger spaceship than the first one, but you tried really hard to make it look like the first one. And it was just, that was my only thing that I could capture.
Yeah. It was so obvious that there's that one crowd shot of Riddick in front of the Necromongers, and it's so clear that he just processed the last shot of Chronicles of Riddick to just look a little bit different, so it matches the rest of the movie. Yeah.
Oof.
But
But that's okay because we try and take movies on their own terms.
the puppy was
Even though
cute.
Chronicles
Puppy was very cute.
Puppy was cute, especially considering that it was a CG animal,
Yeah.
which it's really difficult, in my opinion, to kind of feel anything for CG characters. Even though Gollum kind of and Caesar, pretty much any Andy Serkis.
Well,
Also, all the characters in Tintin. Okay, it's hard to feel things for CG things, especially with a weird space dog like they do have in the beginning of Riddick, and also just
Was it
so good.
CG the entire time? Like it wasn't just a prosthetic at one point.
Maybe in like some close tight shots, but that Riddick's puppy dog definitely CG. Definitely.
Because there was one point where I was like, I think it's real. I think it was like when he was holding him and he saved it from the
scorpion fish.
the scorpion fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe.
It's probably CG.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
at
It
least
was.
I'm sure they had something for a reference point, but who knows?
Yeah, James is right, as per always.
No, I like to think that it was James Gunn's brother in a green
Daryl
suit.
Gunn.
Just
No, his name's Sean Gunn,
Oh, that's a better name.
because that's his real name.
Yeah, I'm saying his real
He
name
play-
is better than the made-up name I came up for him because I didn't know
Hey.
his real name.
James, I like you.
I like you too.
James?
Yeah.
Everything okay over there, buddy?
Oh, I'm
Does this
tired.
movie bum you out?
No, I'm tired, and I just need to stretch out my legs because I've been hunching over for work all week. And I
oh
just need
yeah.
to, like open up my chest. I'll return to my normal pose.
And
in a
that's made you depressed about Riddick?
moment. No, that was the sexual.
No, the
assault.
sexual assault. Yeah,
That's what bumps me out about Riddick.
He says that her toe polish matches the color of her nipples.
Yeah, shit like that.
That is
makes me depressed. Cause like
why? Why?
We're framing Riddick to be like the ideal man, right? And a man
Yes.
doesn't say shit like that. A little boy
Yeah.
who refuses to grow up says dumb shit like that. And it's like,
That's
don't do that.
yeah.
what?
The joy of these movies is watching Vin Diesel be perfect.
Yeah.
He is always the best at literally anything. In the first 30 minutes, he knows that there are some poisonous animals, so he slowly exposes himself to the poison
Yeah.
so he can build up, and the dog. He exposes himself and the dog to the poison over time so he can build up an immunity
Yep.
to it, which is, yes, that's what I want to see in these movies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's more the Chronicles of Riddick stuff.
Yeah.
He just knew. He just knew. And so that's what he does. And it's great. It's marvelous.
Yeah.
I just don't get what the point of saying that shit is. Like, do you think it's arousing? Like, what? I just don't. I know I'm asking the wrong folks because none of us talk like that, but I just don't understand why those things. I don't know. Men are.
Again,
I don't
not
understand,
men,
man.
boys who refuse to grow up.
Yeah,
As Olivia would say, men are trash.
men are trash, and
I mean, true.
it's just.
To show that Riddick is a bad guy, because we've seen that Riddick is a good guy. And also, I think that's just such a misguided thing to do. And also, because filmmakers like to have women have sexual assault because you need feelings.
Ugh.
And what better way is there to generate feelings than by watching a woman be leered at or be sexually assaulted?
See, this is why I go back to Birds of Prey and why every male director needs to watch that movie, or every male director or a male who thinks they want to direct needs to watch Birds of Prey so they know how to shoot women. And that sounds weird, but how to film women and how to actually like elicit feeling in a movie. Anyway, go watch Birds of Prey. It's a good film, despite what your asshole brother says. That's my soapbox.
James has a point. Yeah, has a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Riddick.
We're talking about Riddick. If the movie was, I don't want to do this because one of the things that I do enjoy about this movie is the weird structure. Because it's three different movies in one.
Sure.
And also, it doesn't. I don't mind that because sometimes when movies have that issue of feeling kind of episodic like that, it can feel like a problem. But I don't necessarily mind it. And also, they would not have had the budget to do what I think would have been more structurally sound, which is have the first act be all with the necromongers. The necromongers strand Riddick on the planet. For the second act, he fights his way through the wilderness and then comes back for revenge in the third act.
Right.
And kills Vaco. Without the two mercenary groups.
But the two mercenary group
the best part of the movie.
Tension.
Yeah. The best part of the movie was him kind of being alone, fighting nature.
Yeah, the opening
because
sequence,
it was unusually epic, especially for a movie that looks as chintzy as it does. I do think that this is probably the best directed of the Riddick movies.
Yes. At least the first 30 minutes.
It fits so strangely in the Riddick series. Like, it's just like, it's weird to say that arguably Pitch Black is the most fan favored of all of them. And
wait, Pitch Black is the most fan favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
Still.
Why?
I have no idea.
Chronicles is way better.
It's way better.
Yeah, and it's, to me, it's like the third tier on the list.
Yeah.
And the one with the biggest budget that is the best is not loved at all, you could argue. Just five people, us three, Duran and Olivia, that liked it. Like, it's just so strange. And then you get to Riddick, and it's just everything that it's just felt like a soft reboot almost of Pitch Black. Yeah. And then at the same time, all the fun stuff you get from Chronicles you don't get in this one. And I know his main goal was to make Pitch Black like the Hobbit of Lord of the Rings, and then there was going to be a space trilogy after that, and it just, I don't know, man, it's just so weird.
It feels weird, and I can't imagine what it would be like for someone to watch this movie, and there are the weird references to Chronicles of Riddick. Mm-hmm. I'm not entirely sure that it feels self-contained enough. The ending, even me watching the ending of this movie, I was just like, wait, what? What happened? Because they show up, and they show up to the Underverse. Like, they go there. But Vaco's gone. He just leaves off screen to the Underverse, and he transcends. And we're supposed to be jazzed for the next movie, which, to be fair, I am.
Is there another movie?
Chronicles of Riddick.
There's only 3.
Aaron?
It's supposed to happen.
Oh,
but
man.
we'll have to wait another 7 years, I think.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think the more miles that you put on Vin, pun intended, the better that it's. The only thing that I can see them doing is like an old man Riddick, where he's all grizzled and whatnot, and he comes back and he has to go criming some more.
And I'd prefer that. I just so. With Vin, you got to lean into it. You got to lean into him taking himself seriously. If we start getting an old man Vin here in the third chapter of his career, you got to lean into it. Don't do what you did here in Riddick, which was trying to make it misogynistic and try to have us hate you. Because then I just didn't care about you. Yeah,
there is something to letting yourself age on screen, as opposed to trying to appear in your 20s and 30s whenever you are 50, 60, 70. it's gross, especially with action stars, especially with Stallone or Schwarzenegger or any of those other action stars that are trying to still bed women that are 20s
Ugh.
in their 20s or 30s. It's
gross.
It's gross.
And it goes back to boys who refuse to grow up and become men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially
Stop.
with those that you brought up specifically, Kenny, that those people, like, they were untouchable at that time in their careers, in their 20s and early 30s. They were untouchable. They were essentially gods in their platform. Rocky and with Stallone and Conan and all his pictures, like, they were seemed untouchable. Well, you're gonna age, man, and you can't keep doing what you're doing, and it just comes off as a dirty old man, and it's weird.
And you have the advantage with letting yourself get older on screen. You have the advantage of more assumed emotional weight
Yeah.
on top of it. You mean more. Your persona means more. That's why Rocky Balboa and Creed matters so much more, because it's Stallone and he looks the way that he does, and he's still Rocky, and he has all of this, just this baggage attached to it.
So this is kind of a sidebar. I'm wondering if it is granted.
Granted, always.
Granted.
So, kind of tangential onto this, I recently saw that. Wow, I forgot his name. Han Solo, Indiana Jones.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Thank you.
The president from Air Force One?
Yes, president from Air Force One. No, Harrison Ford said, in regards to like the new reboot of Indiana Jones with like Chris Pratt, and Harrison Ford was like, "No, I'm Indiana Jones. That character dies when I die." How do we feel about that?
There's no reboot of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because Harrison Ford
with Chris Pratt.
won't let that happen.
Good. We need less franchises.
I just thought it was interesting that he was like, no, I am that character. No one else can do it. And when I die,
That's great.
there is no
Because
Indiana
the only reason
Jones.
they would do that, the only reason to do that would be just to capitalize on the IP. Just let
Right.
things be.
Yeah. Well, and it also is
Star
like...
Wars would be.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to talk about Star Wars, which is so much less important than what you're talking about.
I
Go on,
was
Jim.
just saying because like it kind of shows like Harrison Ford like aging with that character. Like he's not trying to preserve it back when Indiana Jones was back then. It was like no, it's just he's gonna age and do stuff, which I just thought was interesting.
One of the many reasons that I love the Star Trek movie franchise, specifically the first 6, because there's 13 Star Trek movies.
When are we gonna do that marathon?
I do it every day. I might watch some Star Trek later on.
Do it.
That sounds fun.
You deserve it.
But one of the things that you see in those movies that you don't see anywhere else is that the characters get older. And they talk about it in Star Trek 2. And then there's 4 more movies after that. So you get to see all of these older people doing all of these things pretty darn well. And at some point they stop talking about them being old and they're just characters again. You don't see that in franchises.
Yeah.
Period.
We have a bad habit of... No, I was just kidding. We have a bad habit of showing our human characters in franchises as being non-human by not letting them age, not letting them develop, not letting them grow in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they had made the Star Trek movies now, which I guess this is
J.J.
exactly what they
Abrams
did in 2009. Yeah, they did this in the 2009 Star Trek movie. They brought back one original series character and went, "Here, I'm passing the torch to you. You are the new crew now. I am the past." Because apparently we just don't want to watch all of these old people do things, as opposed to they still have lives. They still have emotionality. They're still going on emotional journeys. Go do those things. as much as I like Logan, and I do, it's weird. It's weird, and I guess this is just a double standard because we want Vin Diesel to be Old Man Riddick. But the fact that Hugh Jackman, looking the way that he does at the beginning of his 50s, is playing the world weary, super haggard, just at the end of his rope, Logan, and he still kind of looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that, it's so that's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I can understand just wanting to be done with that character, and also I'm just I can't help but imagine the potency that would be if Hugh Jackman just kind of went away from it, then came back and did that story in his late 60s or his 70s.
Yeah.
Well, our society just doesn't value elderly people. It's so fixated on youth. Between 20 and 32, you are worthy in our society. And then especially for
this is
women,
my last year.
this is your last year, but especially for women, as soon as you hit over 35, then quote unquote your life's over, which is complete bullshit. And I don't like our society. That's why
I think it'll slowly start to change.
I hope so.
Especially with, and it's going to be dumb, and at least it's a start, but especially with like Clooney and George Lopez, Jennifer Lopez, and
George
and
Lopez,
others, and well, he's kind of getting off his rocker a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
And as others start to age, and we're like, oh wow, because and Jennifer Aniston is another one who they're like, wow, Jennifer Aniston and J-Lo are entering into their 50s. Like it looks like where life is starting. So maybe that'll start to slowly unravel. But at the same time, you are talking about a very, very, very small percentage of people who look that impeccable. One, because, they can afford to, and they have, nutrition and exercise available to them. And it's a very minute amount of people. So it'll shift to, well, you can be old, but you have to be 52 and look like J-Lo for us to value you.
One of the things that I really liked about Terminator Dark Fate, the last Terminator movie that came out, because there's 6 Terminator movies, is that Linda Hamilton looks the way that she does. Her face is not smooth. Her face is really, really, really wrinkly.
Nice.
And she looks the way that she does. It's not unnaturally smooth. She's got full gray hair, and she was still kicking tail.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the fact that happened at all, just to, this sounds awful, but just to let her look that way, which sounds so absurd. And also, like, she looked like a granny.
Yeah.
And also, yes, she's a person. Let her do action.
Yeah, and also with what's her name from Halloween in the most recent adaptation,
Jamie Lee
what's her name?
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, like she looked like a Midwest grandma. She had her shotgun, she had her flannels and her sweater vest, and she took down her brother. Like, and it, like you said, Kenny, it's very. Oh, sorry.
Oh, not in that. They're not related in the last Halloween movie.
Well, not in the, but you know what I mean. Like she takes down quote unquote. Anyway, but still, like the fact that she looks as like she does, like she looks like a normal grandma with long gray hair and wrinkles. She was not as wrinkled as what's her name in Terminator, but she looks normal. She looks like a normal woman in her 60s, and I feel like we don't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
2 things, gentlemen. 2 things.
Number 1.
If you will grant me a double sidebar.
Sidebar granted.
1, we are such good feminist allies.
Oh.
I just want to let's pat ourselves on the back.
Stop talking about it.
We're so good.
We're amazing.
We're just the best allies.
Let's keep talking about how good of allies we are, because that doesn't undermine anything.
We're such great allies. And number 2, let's get Paul Giamatti an action franchise.
Yeah.
We're talking about seeing more representations of old ugly people.
I would love to see.
Let's
Paul
put Giamatti in a Taken.
That would be
Don't change him
great.
to be beefy.
That would be phenomenal.
Let's throw an
Let's
extra
do it.
40 pounds on him too. Let's make him prime Giamatti.
Yes. Let's have him be the size of Tim Allen in the Santa Claus.
Which clause?
The first one.
Okay.
The one that's an agreement.
3, the escape clause.
Okay, let's build this movie. Let's build this Paul Giamatti action movie because I want Aaron to Photoshop a poster for us this week for our promo.
It's gonna be a Mission Impossible plus Taken, but in the universe of Fast and Furious.
Taken Impossible.
The family.
I'm behind that.
Yeah.
I'm behind it being called Taken Impossible for sure.
Okay, what's the log line of this film?
Things are about to get sideways.
Bravo. Well, Aaron, you have to make this movie poster now.
Things are about to get sideways. And the villain is Jet Li.
Yeah.
So it's this schlubby New York born and bred dude that's just going hand to hand against Jet Li. Yeah, absolutely.
And somehow clumsily wins. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Giamatti hands Jet Li his bun.
What if
For sure.
What if Giamatti is a drunken master?
like for Mortal Kombat.
I want to play it serious. I want to play it serious. I don't want it to be a joke. Well,
It's a real technique.
Because but that's a Jackie Chan movie where he gets drunk and he's a master.
No, that's a legitimate martial art technique where you get drunk and
Really?
fight. Like that's a real thing.
Oh,
You don't actually get drunk,
play-
but it's the movements of being unpredictable.
So we play that. Ooh, okay. We're playing that serious.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. James, as per always.
Oh,
Thank you.
and the reason that sets him off is Jet Li says he's a big fat liar, and that just really makes Giamatti mad. And so that's
Wait, is this Giamatti playing himself in this?
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah,
It's turning
an
out.
autobiographical autobiography.
It's his memoir.
Paul-
This is his
Yeah,
closing.
it's just a video memoir.
Paul Giamatti is Paul Giamatti and Taken Impossible, the true story. And it's just a revenge movie of him trying to get revenge on Jet Li, who is, I'm hoping, also playing himself.
Yeah,
in
100%.
this. Sure. And it's just a dark, grim and gritty Taken style where Paul Giamatti is an action hero.
I think we
Yeah.
can get Christopher Nolan attached.
Yeah, I think so. He's not doing anything.
I mean, he
How
just
great
released
is
a
Paul
movie.
Giamatti?
He's
God,
great.
I just watched. I started watching Inside Amy Schumer for the first time.
Mhm.
That show is hilarious, and also one of the great pieces of television is the episode 12 Angry Men Inside Amy Schumer, where they straight up do the film 12 Angry Men, but instead of trying to debate the innocence of this guy that's on trial for murder, they're trying to debate if Amy Schumer is hot enough to be on TV, and they play it so straight.
That's
And Paul Giamatti is one of the jurors that's debating on it, and he's just it's so serious. It's brilliant.
what a great film. 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men. Hot take. I know no one else thinks this, but I think 12 Angry Men is a great movie.
It's great.
I used to think it was great, and then I had to watch a one-act play of it for high school,
Oh,
Never mind.
and it went from 12 Angry Men to 12 Angry Jurors because they didn't have 12 men on their theater crew. It was a hard 40 minutes. It was a very difficult 40 minutes to get through, and it has always put a bad taste in my mouth ever since. But Paul Giamatti, I am always down for him.
Paul Giamatti is great.
Paul Giamatti's great, but the actor that we're covering is Vin Diesel, and the movie that we're covering is Riddick.
And with that transition, we'll end both sidebars.
Sure.
That's a double sidebar close. Olivia, hit us with that stinger.
Sidebar, sidebar closed.
Have y'all ever seen an American Story? Is that what it is with Paul Giamatti?
Nope.
No.
Highly recommend it. I had to watch it for a college class. It is a narrative biography about this grumpy man from New York.
Oh, American Splendor.
American Splendor. There we go.
Yeah, I got it on my DVD shelf.
I
you can
love
see
that
it.
movie.
I'm pointing to it.
Oh, wonderful. Is that a metal box? No.
Aaron, are you
But
holding a
It's
knife?
not a metal box.
No, it's a nail
Aaron, calm
file.
down.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought it was
much
a
more
knife.
Aaron
Oh, why are you
object.
just hanging out with a knife?
Speaking of metallic phallic symbols,
Riddick.
that one kill in Riddick where he
The trap?
chops Santana's
Oh.
head in half.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the bear
bear trap was
traps
cool.
also,
Oh, yeah.
but also whenever what happens? The machete gets thrown up into the ceiling. It gets stuck. Riddick is handcuffed because people like to trap Riddick.
Yeah.
But because Riddick's the smartest and the most badass, the machete falls down. He catches it on his foot, successfully balances it on his foot, then kicks the machete across the room hard enough to chop Santana in half mouthways,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger Joker style.
Yeah.
Chops his head off. The head falls off, and so you see like the jaw and the tongue and the brain, and it's genuinely one of my favorite kills that I've ever seen in a movie.
And we needed 10 more of them.
incredible.
We needed more Riddick badass scenes like that.
It needed to be. I would have loved for it to be more like Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And less pitch black.
Yeah.
I understand why it happened, but it's the wrong choice.
Question for the panel.
Proceed.
Who would win in a fight?
Paul Giamatti or Vin Diesel?
No, Dom Toretto or Riddick?
Oh.
Because
Riddick.
Dom can never lose.
Well, hold on. Okay, what's at their disposal? Do they have any weapons? Do they have any allies?
No allies. 1v1.
they-
Hang them high. Pistols only.
Hand pistols?
Do they have wrenches?
I mean, Dom can find a wrench.
Damn, Dom is a wrench.
Yeah, he is.
Damn,
No, I think that Riddick would win because even if they have no weapons, Riddick would just take a look at Dom and just break his arm, then use the elbow as a knife.
But Dom can't lose. That's canon.
Yeah, but Riddick, not only can Riddick not lose, it's never even entered his mind. Like
That's
if
fair.
someone goes, Riddick, you could lose, he would be like, no.
and Dom wouldn't lose. He would die.
But isn't that losing?
It
In
depends.
this context, anyway?
Yeah, death is not bad. It's just you losing in this situation. I love framing it in that hyper masculine way. If you die, you're a pussy.
I mean, in a death match,
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah. My money's on Riddick. My money is...
I'm
Yeah.
going for Dom, y'all. But I like underdogs.
If he's got a wrench, he might. If there's a wrench, there's a way.
The Dom
If
if he's
Toretto
got
Furious
story.
two
Nine.
wrenches, if he's got two wrenches,
Akimbo
Oh,
wrenches?
baby.
Oh, boy. Do we have anything else to say about Riddick?
they did Katie Sackhoff wrong.
Yeah.
Put Katie Sackhoff in. Well, I guess Katie Sackhoff's in The Mandalorian, which is a great step.
So is Mandalorian
Give Katie
canon
Sackhoff more stuff.
to Riddick?
It is now.
No,
The Connect.
but you put Katie Sackhoff in better properties because she's genuinely a great actress, and she needs more shots. Also, not enough Keith David. in
I was
this movie.
damn it, Kenny. I was just gonna say that,
Oh, so sorry. I'm sorry.
but not enough Keith David. Not enough Urban, in my opinion, either. Not enough Batista either. And like Batista's fun. Like whenever like they're trying to figure out if it's the same dog from the night before. Must have been a different one.
No,
Like
it's a different
it's
dog. We killed that
fun,
one.
cute little lines like that. Like
Might be the same dog.
What if the movie was just Vaco hunting Riddick across that planet?
dude, that
You don't need much.
that's a Metal Gear Solid territory that I think would like. And again, holy shit, Kenny! Again, we start dipping into the Mayan conversion story of the Aztec conversion story of an Aztec warrior trying to escape the conversion. Like Riddick gives in a little bit to the necromonger way a little bit, and he's like, yeah, I'm vibing with it. And then he's like, no, I got to go back to my ways. I'm a Furian. And then he goes to the planet, and then Vaco's like, perfect. Now I can have my opportunity. And like they try and battle it out, and then like we end up on like the shores of this beautiful beach, and they're just battling it out, and they both realize that neither of them deserve the title that they want, and they both just end themselves because that's the only proper way that they are allowed to die.
Aaron, I think you just wrote you wrote another screenplay.
No, that's the ending to Paul Giamatti's Taken Impossible.
Perfect.
Let's play the Rotten Tomatoes game, gentlemen.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. Boom, da boom, boom, splat.
I mean, I on principle, I had to give this movie a half star on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Because the gross sexual politics of this movie tanks it.
It's gross.
I will gladly pay the $30.
Where'd Pitch Black sit in on your rating? Was it a 1 star?
Let's save that for after the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Oh.
Because we should rank the series. But let's play the Rotten Tomatoes game. The Rotten Tomatoes game is based off the website Rotten Tomatoes, a film review aggregator that takes all submitted film reviews, averages them out by a pass-fail system that assigns percentage on how many people might think a movie is either fresh or rotten. This is not a score that a film is X% good. It is only a survey of how many people liked it. In a rare head-to-head bout, James the Fight Master fight versus Aaron Too Fluffy Too Furious Salinas. Be asking our panelists here for two numbers, one being the critical score on Rotten Tomatoes as well as the audience score, and they will have to give me the guess of being closest without going under. Starting with Captain Fight of the HMS Anime, out of 170 critical reviews, what do you think the approval rating is for Riddick?
Wait, how many?
170 critical reviews.
Oh, that's way more than I thought. I'm gonna have to change my answer. I'm gonna say 37%.
37 in a row?
Yes, in a row.
Great.
Of percentage.
Why 37, James?
Well, I thought maybe only 5 people saw this film, so I was going to give it a 17. But then you said a much higher number, and I gave it 20 more percent.
That is certainly a strategy. Mr. Salinas, would you care to employ a different strategy?
I'm going to say 29.
29%.
I feel like out of all the folks that watched it, the ones who did like it were probably for the first act, and then they just got turned off by everything else.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy. Unfortunately, you are both losers. The correct answer is 57%.
57?
Whoa!
Really? That is
Much higher than Chronicles of Riddick.
What? That's
Really?
sad.
What was
God, that
Chronicles?
pisses me off.
Chronicles of Riddick was in the 20s.
Wow.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah. But perhaps with the critical score in mind, your audience scores might be different, or maybe it will stay the same, or maybe you'll just decide that the Rotten Tomatoes game is the worst and then fire me for the podcast. Anything
That's
to
what
go.
you want. You have to double duty.
No, I like this game. I like preparing things so we could play games. Out of 97,328 audience reviews, starting with Mr. Salinas, Tokyo Drift, what do you think the audience approval rating is for Riddick?
Oh man, I can't wait till I'm Aaron Los Bandoleros Salinas. Shoot. All right. If people seem to be vibing with it, I'll say 61.
61%. Well, it wasn't just people; it's professional film critics.
Yeah,
no, this is audience, isn't it?
yeah,
This is audience, but professional. If people were.
Oh,
writing
I
it.
see. I okay. Yeah.
But also, as we've established in the rule, Aaron has already set the number, so he's locked in.
Locked in.
So you couldn't change it, even if my commentary might have changed it for you.
Giving me
And
the advantage.
Certainly.
he already has an advantage. He has the HMS anime.
I do. And
That's
friendship will overcome anything, even defeat. I'm gonna say I know there's a lot of people who voted for it, but you can also just shit on a thing a lot. So I'm gonna say 40%.
40%.
You sounded like the way we vote in this country.
It's true. I hate our voting system and our politics.
Hey, you guys want to hear something edgy?
Yeah.
I think both sides are wrong.
Shut up.
The system sucks, dude.
Capitalism's for suckers.
I mean, capitalism does suck.
It is. It's
I
awful.
mean, yeah, for
no,
sure.
like,
But also,
Reagan,
did you know that
fucked
both
everything.
sides are bad?
All right.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, one supports Nazis. Like one side actively supports Nazis.
There was a Twitter post that someone said, if it looks like I'm sad, don't think it's something wrong in my personal life. Some people just get caught up thinking about capitalism. And I was like, I felt that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, perhaps you can have some good feelings, Aaron, because you are the winner of the audience round. The correct answer is 56%.
wowza.
What was audience for Chronicle?
59?
Great question. Let me pull up my notes. Where is it? I can always lose this folder. And it's always in the same spot.
Funny how that works.
Chronicles of Riddick. The audience approval rating was 65%.
God
wow.
damn.
Much higher than the critical. Well, that's been our episode of Shame Watch. Thank you to Denise Hudson for our theme song and to James Garcia for our artwork. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Shame Watch on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever podcasts are found. Have suggestions, questions, comments, or general tomfoolery you want to contribute to the pod? Send it our way. Visit us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at ShameWatchPod so we can talk with you. Finally, you can contribute to our Patreon at...
Wait, we didn't rank them.
Oh, yeah. We got to rank them.
Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black. Well, the cool parts of this is number 2, but the gross stuff is I'm just editing out, and then Pitch Black.
Kenny?
Yeah, Chronicles, Pitch Black, Riddick. Unfortunately, if there was not gross sexual assault in this movie, that would be considerably higher, but it genuinely ruins the movie.
Chronicles, Riddick, Taken Impossible, Pitch Black.
Taken Impossible, coming to the theaters in 2025. Finally, you can contribute to our Patreon at patreon.com/shamewatch. It does cost money to put out superb content like this pod, so even a $1 donation can make a huge difference. Kenny, what's the $10 level?
At the $10 level, you'll get a monthly picture of one of our hosts' nice feet, along with a nice haiku written either by Aaron or James.
Aaron, what's the $7 level?
Behind the scenes photos?
Close enough. Behind the scenes. You got it.
Hey.
That's close enough. And then $5 is all the juicy bits that we talk about before we record the podcast. And $2 level is where you get to listen to our other host, Olivia, talk about Shame Watch TV. And she's currently watching The Bachelorette. Apparently things are getting wild. Her words, not mine. I don't watch it, but she does, and she loves it. And you also get access to our marathon episodes and our commentary episodes. And we say your name on the podcast, starting with Kenny Madison,
Of Austin, Texas.
Aaron O. Salinas,
Of Austin, Texas.
Gene Fight,
Of Bowling Green, Ohio.
Alan Smith,
Of Leander, Texas.
Bradley McPherson,
Of Tulsa, OK.
Jennifer Steinberg,
Of Austin, Texas.
Herc,
Of Austin, Texas.
Ian Keegan,
Of Gillette, Wyoming.
Danny Cantu,
of San Marcos, Texas.
Why did I think Danny lives somewhere else? Anyway, Miranda Suarez,
Of San Antonio, Texas.
Irene Suarez,
Of San Antonio, Texas.
Nolan Barger.
Of Oklahoma City. Okay.
Good job. Abel, just Abel.
Of Austin, Texas.
The con save.
Of Stephenville, Texas.
How do you say this name? Ileana Kumo?
Who?
Guys, I can't read.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about. James.
is it Holly?
Yeah, but that's not Holly on the name. It's not Holly on there.
It's Holly Cuomo.
That's not what the name says.
Okay.
Of Austin, Texas.
I only go by what's on the sheet. I'm like Ron Burgundy.
It's crazy. We've gone over how to pronounce Abel's name with you twice now.
I don't remember things.
Aku.
Oh yeah,
Aku.
Aku.
And then
Yeah.
Akula.
What is what is your business? It's Nanya.
Nanya.
Cool. So you take
Aku.
and then take out the nun part.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
go,
Akuya?
Yeah.
but you put an N in front of it.
Acuña?
Hey.
Yes.
Acuña?
Anime references help.
Anime references do help.
You got to meet James on his level, just like we meet
Acuna.
the movies.
Yeah, I live in my own world and it's pretty great. Anyway, until next time, our watch is now into dive. at your own risk.
Wait. I go between the 4th and 5th podcast. Give a little twist at the end to make sure.
Here's what screws me up. It's because the AC. Hold on.